One place that knows that threat all too well is the Maldives, made up of a chain of small islands. It is at risk from rising sea levels, an existential risk. Long a beautiful tourist destination, there are fears that places like this could soon become uninhabitable. Joining me now to react to the UN report is Aminath Shauna. She's the Maldives Minister of the Environment, Climate Change and Technology, and she's live in the capital, Malé. Thanks for being with us. One of the things you've said in previous interviews is that basically my country will not be there by 2100 if the current trends continue. Explain to us how at risk a country like the Maldives is today.
What you just said is so true. Climate emergency is really an existential threat for the Maldives. A rise above 1.5 degrees in global temperatures will really inundate us, and it is a threat for our survival.
Yeah. How have things changed just in the last 10, 15 years for the Maldives? Because I see you've taken measures to try to block the rising sea levels. Talk to me about how noticeable the changes have been just in the last 10 to 15 years.
I mean, we're talking about a country where 80% of the islands are less than just a meter above sea level. We really don't have higher ground to run to. Over 90% of our islands have reported flooding annually. 97% reporting shoreline erosion, and 64% of our islands are experiencing severe erosion. There's not a single island in the Maldives where we have access to fresh drinking water in the islands. So, and nearly 50% of the island structures are within just 100 meters of coastline. So we understand how important it is for us to address the impacts of climate change. And it is urgent and it is immediate, and we need rapid, large-scale action to prevent a climate and a humanitarian crisis as well.
And you're a tourist destination. I went to your beautiful country a few years ago, but one of the catch-22s is to get there, people have to fly. And that contributes also to climate change and to the emission of gases. How do you square that? I mean, what solution do you think should be put in place to make sure that your country survives and thrives into the next century?
We really need to unlock the global financial systems. We need to unlock technology. We need to have more transfer of technology from developed world to developing countries as well. And we need better solutions in terms of transportation and a more resilient economy that addresses climate change.
Yeah. And can you talk to me about what those solutions need to be? Is it enough what is being promised now? Or not?
Obviously, it is not enough. And as I said before, we need immediate, rapid, large-scale action to prevent a complete crisis in terms of humanitarian, public health, and economy as well. Climate change is already affecting every region on the earth. Climate change is no longer just a problem for frontline states such as the Maldives. It has now reached the front lines and is overrunning the capitals.
You know, in 2009, this was a previous administration in your country, but the president of the Maldives held a meeting underwater, which this was in 2009. I don't know why in my memory I thought it was 4 or 5 years ago, but it was actually more than 10 years ago. And at the time, it was seen as a stunt almost. Now you see that and you think, wow, we could be in a situation where many islands in the Maldives become uninhabitable in just a matter of a few decades. I mean, living in that country, how concerned are you that that will happen?
I was there when the underwater cabinet meeting was held. And the way I see it is that yes, climate change is an existential threat for the Maldives, but I also don't see us just as victims. Countries like the Maldives, we can also be victors in this. The Maldives has pledged to become a net zero emissions by 2030. And we have pledged to phase out single-use plastics by 2023. We have also pledged to protect 20% of our natural marine resources in the Maldives. So my question is really, if the Maldives can do it, why can't the rest of the world do it? We need more ambitious action from larger emitters. And for us, I think there's still a chance for us to survive. And although the impact of it is quite severe already from what we've seen in the news as well, from Germany to California to British Columbia to India to China. It's not just the Maldives that's been affected now. So I don't think this is an issue of for small island states, but if the world can really come together to address this in a more in a way that we can unlock the financial systems to address the issues that's been recognized by the IPCC in their report, and to address science, I really think we can prevent a complete disaster here.
Well, let's hope. We know there are upcoming COP meetings and all the disasters we've seen recently, wildfires, floods, all the rest of it, really bringing home the dangers to humanity. Thank you so much, Minister Shauna. She is the Maldives Minister of the Environment and Climate Change, joining us live from Male, where it's almost midnight. So thanks for staying up for us. Still to come tonight, how the Tokyo Olympics launched a mental health revolution in sports. We'll be right back.
Inventing tomorrow for a future that sustains.